If you enjoy the content on this channel, please like and subscribe. God of War Ragnarok is an action-adventure game developed by Santa Monica Studio and published by Sony Interactive Entertainment. It was released worldwide on November 9, 2022 for both the PlayStation 4 and PlayStation 5, marking the first cross-gen release of the God of War series. It is the 9th installment in the series, the 9th chronologically, and a sequel to 2018's God of War. Loosely based on the Norse mythology, the game is set in ancient Scandinavia and features series protagonist Kratos and his now teenage son Atreus. Concluding the Norse era of the series, the game covers Ragnarok, the eschatological event which is central to Norse mythology and was foretold to happen in the previous game after Kratos killed the Aesir god Baldur. The gameplay is similar to the previous 2018 installment. It features combo-based combat as well as puzzle and role-playing elements. The gameplay has been revamped from the previous game. In addition to Kratos' main weapons and magical battle axe and his double-chain blades, he also acquires a magical spear, and his shield has become more versatile, with different types of shields that have differing offensive and defensive abilities. His son Atreus, as well as some other characters, provide assistance to combat and can be passively controlled. Additionally, for the first time in the series, there are some story missions where the player takes full control of Atreus. His gameplay is similar to Kratos, but he uses his magical bow as a weapon. There are also many enemy types and mini-bosses than in the previous game. Originally slated for a 2021 release, the game was delayed in part due to Kratos actor Christopher Judge's health problems in August of 2019 and the latter impact of the COVID-19 pandemic on development. According to tweets from Judge, he could not walk in 2019 and had to undergo surgery to have both his hips replaced alongside back and knee surgery. Following the announcement of the delay to 2022, Santa Monica's developers received harassment from some fans, including threatening messages. Eventually the game would be released on November 9, 2022. A free downloadable content pack titled Valhalla was released on December 12, 2023 and serves as an epilogue to Ragnarok, following Kratos and companion Mimir in a series of trials within Valhalla in order for Kratos to come to terms with his past life in Greece. Ragnarok garnered universal acclaim from critics and was praised for its storytelling, characters, visuals, level design, music and overall improvements to the gameplay over its predecessor. The game sold 5.1 million units in its first week, making it the fastest selling first-party launch week in PlayStation history, with over 50 million units sold as of November 2023. At the Game Awards in 2022, Ragnarok received a leading 11 nominations, including Game of the Year, winning 6. It received a leading 12 nominations at the 26th Annual DICE Awards, ultimately winning 7 awards, including Adventure Game of the Year. It received a leading 15 nominations at the 19th British Academy Game Awards, the most nominations for any game in the history of the ceremony, for which it won 6 awards, including the EE Game of the Year award. Ragnarok is set in the world of Norse mythology, taking place 3 years after the previous game. Unlike their prior entry, all 9 realms of Norse mythology are visited as part of the story. Midgard is the primary realm, which has become a frigid wasteland dramatically changed by Fimbulwinter, a 3-year-long winter that began upon the conclusion of the previous game. The Lake of Nine, previously navigable by boat, is now frozen over, with Kratos making use of a sleigh and 2 pet wolves to navigate around the area. The other returning realms include Elfheim, the mystical home of the dark and light elves, Helheim, the icy land of the dead, Jotunheim, the land of the giants, the fiery realm of Muspelheim, and the fog realm of Niflheim, now covered with ice and snow. The latter 2 were previously optional to explore. The 3 new realms for Ragnarok include Svartalheim, the industrial abode of the dwarves, Vanaheim, the lush home of the Vanir guards, as well as the giant wolves of Skoll and Hati, and Asgard, the humble home of the Aesir guards, that is only visited as part of the story and cannot be accessed after its conclusion. The DLC pack Valhalla adds Valhalla, a remaining area with Asgard where warriors go after death. Within Valhalla, there are small recreations of the previous realms based on Kratos' memories, as well as the areas from his homelands of Greece. The main protagonists are Kratos, played by Christopher Judge, and his teenage son Atreus, played by Sonny Sulchik. Kratos is a former Greek god of war, while Atreus is a half-giant, 1/4 god and 1/4 mortal, and is also referred to by his giant name, Loki. Since the conclusion of the previous game, Kratos and Atreus have been hiding in their home of Scandinavia in the realm of Midgard, training for the inevitable battle ahead of them. They are often accompanied by the head of Mimir, voiced by Alistair Duncan, who claims to be the smartest man alive, and his loyal companion who provides knowledge and counsel. Other major returning characters include Freya, voiced by Daniel Basutti, Avenja Gardner's former Queen of the Valkyries and Odin's ex-wife, is also known as Frigg, who seeks revenge against Kratos and Atreus for the death of her son, Baldur, and the Halmdra brothers, Brock, voiced by Robert Craighead, and Sindri, voiced by Adam Harrington, a pair of dwarven blacksmiths who assist Kratos and Atreus by forging new gear, and also found a way to travel to other realms without using the realm travel table in Tyr's temple. A new character, Agraboda, voiced by Leila de Leon Hayes, one of the last remaining giants who had been hiding in Jotunheim in a secluded forest called the Ironwood, protecting its animals. Unfortunately, the reveal that Agraboda would be black and was met with backlash from some fans. They claimed that since the game is based in mythology originating from northern Germanic peoples, she should have been white. The developers, however, defended the decision due to the diversity of dwarves in the game, among other changes such as Mimir having a Scottish accent and the fact that Agraboda is of a mythological race with the power of transformation. The game's primary antagonist is Aesir god Odin, voiced by Richard Schiff, the king of the Asgard and the All-Father of the Nine Realms. An unseen character in the previous game, he is a pathological liar and manipulator obsessed with preventing his death at Ragnarok and will take any means to stop it. He lost an eye while looking into the rift between worlds in hope of finding answers to prevent a catastrophic event. His ravens, including Hagen and Manhan, allow him and the Aesir to travel freely to any realm, and they are watchful over him. Thor, voiced by Ryan Hurst, the Aesir god of thunder and eldest son of Odin, serves as a secondary antagonist. He's the half-brother of Baldur and the father of Modi and Magni, all of whom Kratos and Atreus killed in the previous game. He wields a hammer, Mjolnir, for which he slays giants despite being part giant himself, and does the bidding of his father, although constantly belittled by him. Another antagonist is the Aesir god Heimdall, voiced by Scott Porter, another son of Odin and half-brother to Thor, whose superiority complex and believes himself untouchable due to his foresight ability. Known as the Herald of Ragnarok, he watches over Asgard for threats, rides atop a horse Golter, and possesses a magical horn, Gjarnhorn, that signals the start of Ragnarok and opens simultaneous realm travel to Asgard. Other characters include Freya, Brett Dalton, Freya's Vanir twin brother, who's been leading a resistance against Odin and the Aesir in Vanaheim. Tyr, voiced by Pen Pendergast, the Norse god of war, but a peaceful one, who is thought to have been killed by Odin prior to the events of the previous game. Sif, voiced by Emily Rose, Thor's golden-haired Aesir wife, who wants Thor to stand up to Odin. Thrud, the daughter of Thor and Sif, who dreams of becoming a Valkyrie and is unaware of Odin's true nature. And Sutja, the fire giant who lives in Muspelheim. Kratos' second wife, Atreus' mother, Laufey, voiced by Deborah Ann Wolfe, a giantess who goes by Faye for the short and had died shortly before the start of the previous game, appears in flashbacks to Kratos, preparing him for death and her final wish, which is on the basis of the previous game. The DLC expansion of Valhalla sees the return of the Greek god, son Helios, who appears as an illusionary head during Kratos' Mimir's journey in Valhalla, briefly taking Mimir's place. Helios mocks and taunts Kratos about his past and his desire for redemption. The Valkyries, Sigrun, Gunnar and Ea had minor roles in Ragnarok and act as guides for Kratos and Mimir in Valhalla. Now I thought the first game within the new Norse mythology was fantastic. God of War is really a gamer's game. It has many multiple levels and very tough adversaries, and you really have to develop your reflexes and game prowess in order to play a game like this. Look, the story is very complicated, layered and nuanced, but it truly is a fascinating one, and at the heart is fundamentally the relationship here between Kratos and Atreus, as their father-son dynamic plays out before your eyes. Look, it's fundamentally a battle of good versus evil, but with some fantastically added characters, like for example the wonderful Sindri, who has many aspects to his personality, and of course the untimely death of Brock within the game really adds another emotional layer to it. The voice work and motion capture work are absolutely stunning in this, and Christopher Judge plays Kratos absolutely perfectly. Look, this is a real grand epic scale of a game. It's complete and utter fantasy, and you escape into the Norse mythology realms with the beautiful graphics, fascinating story, and wonderful action and fight sequences. My one gripe with the game is that it is very long, and can be somewhat repetitive at times. In turn, the addition of Valhalla, albeit fascinating and adding another layer, and of course returning back to the original Greek mythology, was a nice addition. I did find the game though very frustrating and repetitive. Like I say, this is truly a gamer's game. You have to be highly skilled to play this, even on the easier levels, and the story can be somewhat convoluted at times. But in saying all of that though, this still is a wonderful piece of game making, with its stunning visuals, fantastic motion capture work, excellent voiceovers, wonderful in-depth story. God of War Ragnarok is definitely a game not to be missed, particularly if you're a pure gamer. God of War Ragnarok and Valhalla get a 9 out of 10.